Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chicago Med's Nick Gehlfuss set to return for Season 11 as Dr. Halstead in shocking casting twist. A familiar face is blowing into the Windy City come Season 11, as Nick Gehlfuss is set to return to Chicago Med. Gehlfuss, 40, will reprise his role as Dr. Will Halstead in a guest starring role for the upcoming season, Us Weekly can confirm. Deadline was first to report the casting news. It is unknown how many episodes the actor will appear in or when he'll make his long-awaited return. However, Season 11 premieres on Wednesday, October 1. Gehlfuss is an original star of Chicago Med, making his debut during the series premiere in November 2015. Fans initially met Gehlfuss, Will Halstead, during a Season 2 episode of Chicago PD in March 2015, when he reconnected with his brother, police officer Halstead, Jesse Lee Soffer, who was part of Chicago's intelligence unit. Soffer left PD in October 2022 at the start of Season 10. Throughout his time in the One Chicago universe, Gehlfuss guest starred on both Chicago PD and Chicago Fire as his surgeon character. After 8 seasons playing Dr. Halstead on Chicago Med, the actor surprised fans when he exited the series during the May 2023 finale. His farewell episode was bittersweet. Sadly, Will left Chicago for a new adventure, but in a twist of fate, he reconnected with his ex-fiancée, Dr. Natalie Manning, Tori DeVito, when he landed at the Seattle airport. The goodbye hinted at Will and Natalie's happily ever after, which many fans hope hasn't crumbled now that he's coming back to Gaffney Chicago Medical Center. Gehlfuss previously teased that his Season 8 departure wasn't the closing of a door, telling Variety in May 2023, "We were all in agreement on that, thankfully, as I talked with Dick Wolf and the writers. Whenever it makes sense again for important moments, I'd love to don the white lab coat once again." How Gehlfuss, Dr. Halstead, will fit back into the hospital ecosystem has yet to be seen, but fans have a lot to look forward to when the show returns. During the Season 10 finale, which aired in May, viewers saw a pregnant Dr. Hannah Asher, Jesse Schramm, go to Dr. Dean Archer's, Steven Weber, house instead of ex-boyfriend Dr. Mitch Ripley's, Luke Mitchell, place to seemingly talk about her pregnancy. Hannah has yet to tell Ripley that he's the father, which raised eyebrows among viewers, some of whom think maybe someone else is the dad. Showrunner Alan McDonald exclusively told us in May that Hannah's pregnancy and relationship with Ripley is an unfortunate wait-and-see situation, noting it's a very complicated story. That answer, as well as the fate of Dr. Caitlin Lennox, Sarah Ramos, as a surgeon who was diagnosed with a rare neurodegenerative disorder, will all come out next season. McDonald teased that Lennox's diagnosis forces her to reassess her lifestyle choices moving forward. When Chicago Med fans last saw Dr. Will Halstead, played by Nick Gehlfuss, he was walking away from Gaffney Chicago Medical Center with a sense of closure. After years of complicated love stories, tense conflicts with hospital leadership, and countless medical emergencies, Halstead left Chicago to start a new life in Seattle. It was a bittersweet but fitting ending to a character who had carried the weight of the series since its inception. But in a twist no one saw coming, NBC has confirmed that Nick Gehlfuss will be reprising his role as Dr. Halstead in Chicago Med Season 11. The announcement shocked longtime viewers, sparking immediate speculation. Why is Halstead back, and what does it mean for the series going forward? A character who defined Chicago Med. Since the show premiered in 2015, Will Halstead was the emotional anchor. Fans first met him as the brash younger brother of Halstead from Chicago PD, a doctor who didn't always follow the rules but had a heart for patients. From the very first season, Will was written as someone who would go to extremes if it meant saving a life. That often put him at odds with the administration and even his colleagues. His on-again, off-again romance with Dr. Natalie Manning, Tori DeVito, became one of the show's central storylines. While their love story was messy, it made Will relatable. A man deeply flawed, yet deeply human. By the time Halstead departed, he was exhausted, not just by hospital bureaucracy, but by the emotional toll of being a doctor in one of Chicago's busiest emergency departments. Viewers largely accepted his exit. After all, it gave the character a sense of peace, moving away to pursue something beyond endless trauma cases and heartbreak. So why bring him back now? The shocking twist. Reports suggest that Gehlfuss's return won't be a simple cameo. He's set to appear as a recurring player in Season 11, possibly even reclaiming his place as a series regular if fan reception, however, is the storyline that will explain Halstead's comeback. Rumors swirling around set leaks hint that the writers plan to connect his return to a massive medical crisis hitting Chicago. Perhaps Halstead left for Seattle, only to discover that he couldn't escape the calling of frontline medicine, or perhaps something tragic, like the illness of a loved one or a collapse in the hospital staffing, pulls him back into the orbit of Gaffney's Chicago Med. One intriguing possibility is that Halstead might return in a leadership capacity. With so many characters leaving in recent seasons, the hospital needs a strong, recognizable presence to ground the ER. Halstead's history with Gaffney, and his ability to balance compassion with stubborn persistence, makes him the perfect candidate to step back in. How fans are reacting. The fan base is divided, but the reaction is intense. On one side, loyal viewers are ecstatic. Social media lit up with excitement when the news broke. Longtime fans have missed the fiery red-headed doctor, who often clashed with his bosses, but never wavered in his dedication to patients. On the other side, some fans are nervous that this return could unravel the strong ending Halstead received. His exit was one of the rare times in the One Chicago universe where a character left without a tragic death or messy fallout. Bringing him back risks undoing the closure that many believed was necessary for his arc. Still, the energy around his return proves one thing. Nick Gehlfuss left a bigger imprint on the show than anyone realized. Why this move makes sense. From a creative standpoint, Halstead's return is a strategic decision. The Chicago franchise has been juggling multiple cast shakeups across Med, PD, and Fire. Stability has become a necessity, and what better way to stabilize a flagship show than to bring back an original character who embodies its heart? Well, Halstead is also uniquely positioned to create drama. His fiery personality guarantees conflict with new administrators and doctors who've filled the void since his departure. Longtime fans will enjoy watching him try to navigate the hospital he once knew, now filled with unfamiliar faces and new politics. Additionally, Halstead's return opens the door to explore unresolved threads. Could his relationship with Natalie Manning resurface? Could we see him cross over once again with his brother Jay Halstead, Chicago PD, even though Jessa Lee Soffer left that series too? The possibilities are wide open, and that's exactly the kind of unpredictability the One Chicago franchise thrives on. Where the story could go the hero's reluctant return. Halstead could come back because of a crisis at Gaffney. Perhaps the hospital is short-staffed or dealing with an outbreak that requires seasoned doctors. In this scenario, Will reluctantly returns, initially planning only a short stay, only to realize he belongs there after all. 2. Personal stakes. Another theory is that a family matter brings him back. Could Jay Halstead suffer a health scare, pulling his brother into Chicago once again, or maybe Natalie Manning reappears in his life, reigniting old feelings? 3. The administrator role. Fans have long speculated about Halstead moving into a leadership role. Instead of simply being a doctor in the trenches, he could now be the one calling the shots. This shift would not only challenge Will but also give the show fresh storytelling ground. 4. Clashing with new characters. Since Halstead's exit, new personalities have taken over the ER. His return could spark immediate clashes, forcing the show to explore how an old guard character fits into a new era. Nick Gehlfuss's perspective. In past interviews, Nick Gehlfuss admitted he was ready to step away from Chicago Med to explore new projects. His departure was amicable, with both the actor and producers leaving the door open for future appearances. By returning now, Gehlfuss proves the power of timing. He can breathe new life into the character without being tied down permanently. It also suggests that Gehlfuss, like his fans, understands Halstead's importance to the fabric of Chicago Med. Few characters have been able to command the emotional weight he carried. By returning, even for a limited arc, he ensures that Halstead's legacy won't fade.